It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. We are going to be in Yorba Linda tomorrow. We'll get to that. But right now, we've got rain. We've got more rain. It's pouring. No, look out the window. It's not pouring. It's just raining in Burbank. And yet another storm. Another storm that everybody's got to deal with. Everybody's got to take precautions. If you live in the burn scar area, you're flipping out. I totally get that. I understand that. I'm flipping out in Burbank, and we weren't burned out of our house because we have too much water. The backyard fills up with water, and it fills up into where the air conditioner is, and it creates a big problem. I decided to get a sump pump out there and knock it out myself. But that is 1/billionth of 1% of what people in the burn scar have to deal with. And every time something like this happens, every time there's another storm, they've got to sit there and they have a sleepless night. Tonight will be a sleepless night for people who live in the burn scar area because you never know. You never know how, if this is going to be it. If it's going to be, absolutely huge and wipe you out. It's just, you've got to be aware of it, and you have to, I don't know if we're going to have any warnings from the government. If there's any flash flood warnings, I'm sure we will. They try to be preventive and preemptive with that stuff because obviously it can save lives. And a lot of people think that those warnings, maybe you're watching TV and your TV goes off for 30 seconds and you're annoyed by it because you don't live in one of those areas. But the people that do live in those areas, their lives can be saved by those things, the emergency alert system. So that's why we do it here, and we will continue to do it here. All right, let's get into this weather. Let's find out what's going on. When is it going to stop, and who's going to get the most of it? It's here. It's here.
Very difficult Thursday afternoon beginning to shape up here in Southern California. Dangerous conditions now moving into the region. We've got some thunderstorms that are beginning to pop up here in Southern California. And, of course, we've got rain and snow. You can see that as we take that look at your 5 Live Max Doppler again, stretching all the way from San Luis Obispo now down in towards L.A. County. We're beginning to see a lot of this cold front moving further east in towards much of the Inland Empire over the next hour or so. But it's much of the L.A. basin through the Santa Monica Mountains, all the way through the San Fernando Valley, and out to the outskirts of much of the San Gabriel Valley and further south towards the coast, where we're looking at that flood advisory. It's in place through the night tonight and into at least Friday, the mid-morning hours. But here are the hot spots right now, and unfortunately, one of those being Altadena. That's where we're looking at, of course, that burn scar area. They could see some mudslides, some debris flow as well. Rain, pockets of heavy rain now starting to move towards the Altadena community here along the foothills. Here's the Angeles Crest Highway, and here's Mount Baldy. And look at that lightning strike. So the severe weather is now beginning to move into Southern California. And of course, that moisture stretches all the way out towards Pomona, as well as Rancho Cucamonga, and as far south as you could see up on the screen to Rancho Palos Verdes, now Huntington Beach, Seal Beach, the Naples area starting to fill in with some of that heavier rainfall. We've got snow now beginning to fall into the local mountains. That's again the Angeles Crest Highway all the way up to Wrightwood. Then we'll take a look up towards Big Bear, just beginning to see a little bit of those snow showers. And as more snow is on the way, we've got both a winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning, where we could pick up by Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, anywhere between about 6 to 14 inches of snow. More details about this system and, of course, your weekend forecast minutes away.
Okay. There's going to be a lot, again, of nervous people. However, if you do make it through this rain, and most people will, we're doing a live remote. And we're expecting a lot of people tomorrow in Yorba Linda. And hopefully you'll be there. Because, you might get a little wet. It might rain during part of that, that remote out there tomorrow. But just think of this. It's a small sacrifice for you to make to, I was going to say to come see me, but probably wasn't a great sales tool, but to feed these kids. You've got to get out there. We've got to raise money and pasta and sauce to feed these kids. It's the 15th annual Pasta-thon. It's here. And it all starts tomorrow, and it's going to go on for the next couple of weeks. Chef Bruno's charity, Katarina's Club, that's his mom, Katarina, provides meals for 25,000 kids right here in Southern California every single week. And your generosity is the only thing that makes that happen. Without your generosity, these kids don't eat. So if you can live with that, great. Our live broadcast is Giving Tuesday, December 2nd, which, Crozier, I think is a week from Tuesday. Is that right? Is it the Tuesday after Thanksgiving?
Pretty much 10 days after tomorrow when we start.
Woo! Thanksgiving is 1 week from today. Thanksgiving is a week from today. How about that? So December 2nd, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Wait, who's going on 7 to 8? Is it me again?
Yes.
Always giving.
Yeah, such a giver.
Yeah, thank you. Anaheim White House, 887 South Anaheim Boulevard. You can donate anytime at KFIAM640.com/pastathon. I always like to do that. That's my Bill handle. Every time he gives a web address out, he always goes up at the end. KFIAM640.com/pastathon. Also, you can go to Smart and Final. Donate any amount at checkout, even if you're in Arizona or Nevada. You can go to Wendy's. Everybody loves Wendy's. And they have the new Wendy's Tendies. Have you seen these?
No.
The chicken tenders. Oh, they're beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. And what a great name for them. The Wendy's Tendies. Good name for them. Donate $5 or more, and Katarina's Club is going to give you a coupon book. And they can drop off pasta and sauce and donations at Number One Collision Center in Costa Mesa, 2750 Bristol Street. Number One Collision Center in Costa Mesa, 2170 Bristol Street. And they're taking pasta and sauce donations right now. So we're going to be there live tomorrow, 4 to 8 p.m., Smart and Final in Yorba Linda, 21500 Yorba Linda Boulevard. And the first 250 people that show up in the rain, God almighty, is that a big number, are going to get a free bag. I don't know if there's going to be anything in it, but you'll get a free bag. And you'll like that. You'll go home, you'll tell friends, hey, I went out in the rain and I got this bag. So that'll be fun. All right, let's take a break here. But when we come back, we're going to talk. I'm going to listen to this. Jay Leno is a very dear friend of ours, of the show, and just a really sweet man. He shares an update on his wife's battle with dementia, and it's really moving. It's really moving. So we're going to come back and play that. You're going to want to hear this. All right, we're live on KFI AM 640. Keep an eye on the rain for you. We'll do that. And we'll see you tomorrow, rain or more rain. And we'll see you there at Smart and Final in Yorba Linda, right off the 91.
Come on.
21500 21500. Gift bags,
Good
ahoy.
times.
There are huge gift bags going out. But it literally is tomorrow, 4 to 8 p.m., 21500 Yorba Linda Boulevard, right off the 91. And we'll do a live remote, and we'll be out there freezing and getting soaked with you.
We'll do it live?
We'll do it live. And we're very charitable to these kids. You know, we could have canceled this remote, you know, said it's weather-wise and canceled it. We didn't, because we know those kids have to eat. So hope you have the same opinion. We're live on KFI AM 640.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
It is the Conway Show. All right. We have a very special guest here in Michael Monks. Always nice to see you, buddy. Always nice when you come in. You're always upbeat. I know, anger right below the surface, but you always keep it pretty contained.
I have gone through many classes to make that the case.
Is that right?
To keep it all under control.
Any of them voluntary or most mandatory?
Some was mandatory. Court ordered.
Really? You've had court ordered anger management?
No, as a teenager, I was advised to attend some counseling sessions, which we fulfilled.
Okay, all right.
And here we are.
I like that edge, though.
Yeah,
I really do.
I'm
appreciate
a good kid,
that edge.
A little rough around the edges.
Yeah, but you know what? That's great because you come off as this sweet guy who saves cats and helps the environment and really never badmouths anybody. But then you can swear up a storm once you've pushed over the edge.
I have a little tolerance for ineptitude.
Okay. But yeah, you keep coming on this show.
I love this show.
So they ding dong with you.
Indeed.
All right, so let's talk about this Dodgers gondola or gondola,
Yeah,
however
this
you
is like
say
the
it.
second week in a row we've gotten to talk about the gondola.
But it's 25 years in the making, and I'm tired of talking about it. When are they going to put it together?
Well, this is Los Angeles, and
Right.
you know we don't build anything.
That's right.
I mean, we just don't. We just talk about things. And last week, the city council was like, we don't like this thing at all. They voted on a resolution to formally oppose the gondola project. And it's kind of a strange position to take because even though there are some loud opponents from the Chinatown neighborhood, there are also a lot more who have signed petitions saying, no, we do want this in this neighborhood. We do believe this will bring tourists and business. But what happened today?
I'm sorry, before we do this, let's back up for a second. Tell people where it's going to go. It's go Union Station.
Yeah, we should refresh everyone. Since 25 years in the making, it may have just been a blur at this point.
Maybe.
No, this is called, technically, it's called the LA ART, LA Aerial Rapid Transit.
What a great name for it.
Yeah.
The only thing great about it.
Indeed. Because it's a, it's like a gondola that you would see, I don't know, where would you see a gondola in your life?
Maybe you would see one like this in Palm Springs, the one that goes to the top of the mountain.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I've been on that. Yes, exactly.
Or in Italy, in the Alps.
Sure.
Or, no, Swiss Alps.
Yeah, so it's like a mountain kind of thing, but this would take you from Union Station to Dodger Stadium.
And you know what? Everybody complains. All these rich people.
Mario's got his finger on the button. He's ready.
I got it. All these rich people complain about getting in and out of Dodger Stadium, and then they turn around and vote against this gondola.
And there are a lot of complaints about traffic. Now, there are some conflicting studies to the opponent's credit that maybe only 600 cars would be removed from current traffic flows if we build this thing.
Even if there's 6.
But it sounds remarkable because it's a 1.2 mile route from Union Station to Dodger Stadium with some stops in between there. And it proposes that it would transport 5,000 people an hour.
Wow.
So, yeah, maybe the current studies say 600 cars, but if you could get people in the rhythm of parking their car out in the valley, hopping on either the rapid bus line or on one of the subways, the light rail trains.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Come into Union Station, hop on the gondola, and take it up to it. And by the way, in just 7 minutes.
That's incredible. But, you know, when I used to, back when the Red Line was a little safer than it is now, I used to get on the Red Line in North Hollywood with my Kings sweater on and go to a Kings game with my daughter. I mean, I would literally get on the Red Line with my 3 or 4 year old daughter. She would run around the cable, the subway with her pal, and then we'd go to the King game, and then we'd come home. And as every stop on the way to the King game, more Kings fans would get on, and it was like a real sort of a LA thing to do.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know if people are still doing that.
I think for special events, you're seeing it. Metro reported a lot of increased ridership during the Dodgers stuff that was taking place here.
That's great.
The World Series, I think they call it.
I love the Metro. If it was safer and cleaner, I'd ride it. I rode it all the time before it fell apart.
The Metro, some Metro boards met today, not the Metro board, but the committees that the board members serve on underneath the big board before the big board meets. And I follow those things too.
And I'm going to tell you one more thing here.
Yeah.
Of all the people who are on this station, who have their own shows, I guarantee you I've been on that Metro more than all of them combined. I used to take the Metro all the time.
Why are you mad about it?
Because I miss it. I miss it.
I take it too. And I want it to succeed. And so I'm watching these meetings today, and the crime reports for each month come out. And it looks like it's holding pretty steady. Like they're doing a decent job as far as what is being reported and addressing some of those situations. But that's what I've said the whole time that I've been writing LA Metro is this is not a bad system on paper. It does get you to a lot of places.
It's great.
And it's getting you to more places. The problem is, one, perception, but also the reality. If it doesn't feel clean, if it doesn't feel inviting, then no one will do it. Now, this is not a Metro project, this gondola.
But when I used to take the Metro, I used to take the Red Line, there was always a police officer on the not on my car, but on the train, and people behaved.
Yeah,
and then once they removed those cops over budget issues, that's when it fell apart.
The Metro agency is getting a police department of its own starting in 2029. So you got a few years to wait, but they did hire the chief, and they're ramping up to that. So they're currently still using LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department.
After the Olympics.
So exactly. It will be really tested in a lot of ways during the Olympics. But Metro does have some overview of this project. They are the agency that approves, this is why we can't build things, right? There are different environmental review processes that
and they're loud.
And this is one, they are indeed. Metro had already approved the gondola's environmental impact review a couple of years ago, but it was challenged in court for not taking into consideration enough of the construction noise.
Okay.
And so the judge sent it back for that to be evaluated and then brought back to Metro. And that's what happened today. The Metro board has not fully approved this yet. That will come later. This was the executive management board, but these are powerful people. This board is made up of some strong people. The chair is Fernando Dutros, a councilman in Whittier, but supervisor, not to downplay his position, but he's also the chair of the Metro board right now. He's a very powerful guy. Supervisor Janice Hahn is on this committee. Supervisor Hilda Solis. Mayor Bass is on this committee.
Okay.
And they voted to approve. 150 people showed up to speak today at this Metro committee meeting.
What was the mixed?
Pretty balanced.
Mostly for?
Pretty balanced. The people who are against it are very well mobilized. They dominated the city council meeting last week.
Right.
But I think...
Yeah, because the people who are for it have jobs.
I think that you find a lot of the activist class is just easily mobilized. They are, I don't even know if it's easy to say. I mean, they are just organized.
But that's the
They
problem
shoot
with
a
this whole
text
city.
message and they get the message out. And if you are an elected official, that's all you're hearing.
That's the problem with this city.
In a lot of ways, I think you're right.
I mean,
activists are able to get to where they want to be and to get their message heard. But there were more people today at the Metro meeting speaking in favor of the gondola to make sure their voices were heard. And it was approved. Interestingly, Mayor Bass, sitting on this committee, voted in favor of this in spite of the city council's resolution last week.
All right, Rick Caruso, who is built the Grove, he built the Americana, the Commons, and Pacific Palisades, the shop at Pacific Palisades. He was willing to take on managing the city of L.A. for $240,000 a year and become mayor of L.A. And L.A., the dumb people in L.A. said, no, thank you.
Well, respectfully, it's easy for a guy who was born into money to say something like that, right? I mean, he's a rich guy, was born into money. It's harder for...
He's willing to become a manager of L.A., and they said no.
But why?
Why did they say no?
Yeah.
Because you're exactly what you said. All these organizations who are constantly stealing from the city would be cut off. Because Rick would have cut all that crap off.
Well, why wasn't that the message?
It should have been the message.
That's what I mean. We were talking. I was talking. I won't say. I was talking.
Okay, but here's why.
Today.
But
here's his message.
Okay, here's why it's not a message. Because outside of you, who's doing City Hall?
Yeah.
When you go to City Hall, do you see channel 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11 there? Do you see them down there?
TV stations there, but
but they're doing puff pieces on crap. They're not doing your work.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, I mean, people do want Rick Caruso to run again, to try again. You hear a lot because they're waiting for some alternative. And there are a couple of other candidates running, but nobody's really energized some excitement to
because he's an outsider.
Bass.
Rick's an outsider, and he's a developer. He's an outsider, and they don't want outsiders in there because there's so many people stealing from the city of LA. All that gravy would have been cut off.
Why don't you run?
I can't run. I got way too much crap in my past.
Yeah, we know all about it.
Like, I can't manage my house. How could I manage the city of LA? I constantly mismanaging my life and my house.
All I want is a robust campaign next year from all of the candidates who are really going to be serious about their policy positions so that we can talk about them here.
Okay, you know who should run? Who's been living in L.A. since the 1990s? John Colbell. That's the guy that should run.
I think he would probably recall himself within 3 weeks.
Probably right. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
You got it.
Saturday, 7 to 9 p.m.
Lots to talk about. We'll dive into this more and all the other issues in and around L.A. and Orange County.
If you're in the area, we're going to be in Yorba Linda tomorrow from 4 to 8.
I'm going to be here because somebody's got to keep the home fires burning.
All right. Great. I love the fact that you keep an eye on City Hall. Nobody else is doing it. I appreciate you doing that.
My pleasure.
I know it's a pain in the ass, and you get a lot of backlash. You get a lot of feedback saying, "Hey, let off these guys." I bet you get emails saying, "You're wrong about this, you're wrong about that." But you're right. You keep an eye on those and keep your foot on their neck.
Appreciate it.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Jay Leno is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And he's just the same guy you see on TV in real life. And he's going through a tremendous challenge with his wife, Mavis. And I believe this was on CBS. And they did a story on Jay Leno and Jay's wife, Mavis. This thing is, it's about 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to play it uninterrupted. And you'll get a window into what this man is really like in life. For people who've never met him, you've only seen him on TV. Maybe you've seen him drive around his steam car in Burbank or in the Valley. This is a great, great piece. Him talking about the relationship he has with his wife, who's suffering from, I believe, dementia and the late stages of either Alzheimer's or dementia. So I'm going to play it uninterrupted, and it's a great, great piece.
And now, Jay Leno.
Jay Leno has spent half a century making others laugh. He started in stand-up back in 1969 and would later go on to host The Tonight Show for 22 years. For this interview, we find ourselves in his famous garage, home to 214 collector's cars. Jay tells me each car has a story. But today, we're sitting down to tell another story as he peels back the curtain on life at home with his beloved Mavis.
When you guys first met, I was just reading some stuff about you. She was crazy about you. She talked about how gorgeous you were, but she also said she never wanted to get married. She was a big feminist, but somehow being with you felt like home. What was it about her?
I enjoy her company. Like if I'm working on a car, she'd sit over there with a book and read. It was just still is, very comfortable. Before she had this, I would always go home after the time she'll cook dinner for her and we watch TV. The only difference is now you just can't really talk about a lot of things.
Conversations are different because Mavis is living with advanced dementia, a condition she was diagnosed with after years of worrying symptoms.
What do you guys talk about, like the conversations that you have these days?
Well, the conversation, it'll be, she'll point something and say something that doesn't quite make sense. And I go, no, it's good, honey, it's all right. You hear a noise outside, what's that? No, it's fine. I sense she wants to be reassured that everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
And over the last handful of years, moments of unimaginable heartbreak.
Probably the toughest part was every day she'd wake up and realize someone had called today to tell her mother had passed away. And her mother died every day for like 3 years. And it was not just crying. You're learning for the first time. Each time that was really tricky. Yeah, that makes it hard.
As Mavis's caretaker, Jay provides not just love and reassurance, but he also tries to maintain a sense of normalcy.
Does she enjoy a good meal?
Her appetite's really come back. I wish I could take her out and go out to eat and do things like that. But you can't really. We'll get some help. We'll take her out to Carmel, drive around and look at stuff. And she likes that. But yeah, I feel bad. You reach this point in your life where she loves to travel. So I'm sad that she can't do those things. But, there's so much stuff on YouTube, the travel stuff, and we watch those things. And, the animal shows. And real big with the flashcards.
Oh, yeah?
Well, not flashcards, but see this picture? Who's that? That's President Obama. Oh, I never met him. Yeah, honey, we had dinner with him at his house, the White House. And it'd be a laugh.
Mavis, in her own right, has an incredible body of work. An activist and philanthropist, she was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for her work supporting women in Afghanistan under the Taliban.
It's interesting because she strikes me as a fiercely independent person.
Well, actually, that's part of it because now she really needs me, and I like that. And I can tell that she appreciates it. And the idea that you get married and you take these vows, nobody ever thinks they'll be called upon to act on them. That part through better or worse. But even the worst is not that bad.
You still making her laugh?
Yeah.
What does that?
Last night I said to her, guy goes to the doctor. The doctor said, what's the matter? He goes, when I press here, it hurts. When I press my shoulder, it hurts. When I press my kneecap, it hurts. And when I press my rib cage, it hurts. The doctor says, you got a broken finger. She really laughed at that.
What strikes me is Jay makes a decision each day to shift his gaze to the positive.
If I was a doctor, I would say the patient is doing well, put it that way.
Does she bring up stuff from like when you guys were younger, when you were dating?
Oh, yeah, we always do that. When I'm carrying her, carry like in the bathroom, we do this, and I call it Jay and Mavis at the prom, high school, so it's just like back and forth. And she thinks that's funny.
But by the way,
yeah.
That's it. No wonder why she's calm and feeling loved and all those things. Because that simple act of taking your wife to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's not the most romantic thing, really, when you think about it.
But Jay and Mavis going to the prom sounds pretty cool.
These days, Jay finds small pockets of time to perform.
Comedy has been obviously the through line throughout your life. What does comedy look like these days?
Yeah, I'm on the road a lot. You know, if I just took politics out of it completely, I know ticket sales are up 20-30% just because nobody wants to be lectured. When you're on TV and you can play directly to your audience and there's a laugh track, and when you go to Indiana or Kentucky or any other place in the country, you're always going to have a third of the people who don't agree with you politically. So why even go there?
Yeah, it's tricky to be a comedian these days. I feel like
I don't think it's any trickier than the other. No, you know, we've always had tough time. Things are actually, it's not that it's better now, but the thing I find fast, stuff that used to be the law is now against the law. And that's great.
Yeah,
because the old day would just be boom. That's it.
That's it. So do you feel hopeful about where?
Yes, I'm very hopeful.
Yeah,
I am optimistic because ultimately it's a bit like a donkey. Sometimes you got to hit it in the head with a 2x4 to get its attention, but eventually it'll listen.
While much has changed in the landscape of comedy, for Jay and Mavis, so much of their love story remains the same.
How does Mavis show you that she loves you these days? How do you know?
Well, by saying it. You know, I can see the smile. I can tell when she's happy. So, I mean, that's really it. And that, as someone who's in show business, I go home and I get an audience reaction every night. I please the person I'm entertaining. And when she looks at me and smiles and says she loves me, I melt.
I mean, when you think about Jay, this is so interesting because he is such a glass half full person. And he kept repeating, he's like, this is the first time she's ever needed me. He said during their whole lives, she was so fiercely independent. She did everything on her own. And now he goes, I get to do this for her. Like he likes to be there for her. And he doesn't see it as a sacrifice or as something he has to do. But I mean, their love story, that's really the way you want it at the end, isn't it?
What a great guy. Jay Leno sitting and standing by his wife who's suffering from advanced dementia. And you never know it. When he comes in here or when we took a tour of his garage or when you see him on the streets of the San Fernando Valley or driving around, he never shows that side of him. But it's got to be tough. And that's one of the true great guys in show business. One of the best.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
It is the Conway Show, and we're going to be in Yorba Linda. I don't care if it's raining or not. We will be in Yorba Linda tomorrow, 4 to 8 p.m. at Smart and Final. So please come on by, and we're going to make sure these kids are fed. The rain right now is in San Bernardino, Riverside area. They're getting worked right now with this rain, and it's going all the way up. If you're taking the 15. If you're taking the 15 freeway from LA to Las Vegas, maybe you get an early start on Thanksgiving, you're going to visit mom or one of the casinos, then you're going to have rain almost all the way there. And it's right now the heaviest storm in Southern California right now is in the middle of Barstow. Barstow is getting drenched right now. But locally here in Los Angeles or in the LA area, Pasadena just got worked. Ontario is getting absolutely destroyed by this water. Mission Viejo, and it's moving on towards Riverside as well. So lots of rain. It just went through Los Angeles, and now it's going into Ontario, Riverside, Mission Viejo, a lot of it. Let me see here. 5. Okay. So at 5:15, in a matter of, 20 minutes from now, Victorville will be soaking wet. Wrightwood will be getting snow. There'll be snow up in Arrowhead and in Big Bear. A lot of snow. And a lot of rain in Riverside, right where the 15 freeway and the 10, the 15, the 215 in that San Bernardino area, Moreno Valley, Banning, Paris, Menifee, all getting soaked right now. That's the storm that did come through Los Angeles a couple hours ago, and now you're getting it up in all the way from Victorville all the way south to Mission Viejo. There's one huge line of rain and storms that you're getting wet by. As it goes on throughout the evening, it's going to start to clear out in Los Angeles. So by 6:20, there'll be almost no rain in the city of LA and almost no rain in the county of LA. But later on, there might be some more. So you got to be aware of that. Got to be aware of it. I saw an article that Carmel, the beautiful city of Carmel, is one of the first cities that's going to ban pickleball. You would think that everybody up in Carmel plays pickleball, but this California town is banning pickleball over the noise complaints from the paddles hitting the ball. Carmel, California, which I thought if somebody said pickleball was invented in Carmel, California, I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. But they're banning it because of noise. Carmel City Council voted earlier this month to permanently ban the sport at Forest Hill Park, the only public pickleball location within city limits, making it the first such ban in the state. I agree with that. I am all for that. Pickleball is not a sport. And I know there's a lot of people out there that play it. But the best pickleball player in the world is about 10% better than the worst pickleball player in the world. It's not tennis. It's not ping pong. It's not. It's a very slow moving game where you can start playing pickleball today and be competitive with people that have been playing it for years tomorrow. And I know we get a lot of email on this saying, you have no idea what you're talking about. I do. It's a dumb game. Hey, Crozier, have you ever tried pickleball?
Have not. Would like to.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get you into it. Yeah. Angel, you probably have tried it. You do everything. You surf, you swim. You're pretty active.
That is true, but I am a purist and I'm a tennis girl. I've been playing tennis since I was 8 years old.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I have not played a game of pickleball or even held a racket.
Yeah, it almost seems like pickleball was designed for 70-year-olds who still want to be active. And now kids are playing it. And it's loud and it's a mess. So
yeah, like what you said is true though. Like the learning curve for pickleball is, I call it the like pickleball is to tennis what snowboarding is to skiing. Because if you snowboard for like 3 consecutive days, you're snowboarding. Right. But to learn how to ski, it takes a long time to develop those skills.
I heard that I've never tried snowboarding, but I heard the snowboarding, it's all in the toes. Is that true?
I don't know.
You've
I
never
guess
tried
for
it?
the edge control. Yeah. I snowboard also.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Because when I get tired from skiing, I hop on a snowboard.
Damn, are you active? God almighty, you're always doing something. Paddleboarding and swimming in the ocean. You've seen sharks while you're paddleboarding. Is that true? Yes, that is true. And you still do it?
They're just swimming down or underneath me. They're not looking for a snack.
You want me to show you pictures?
Okay.
A young surfer thought the same thing, and now she doesn't have an arm.
Yeah, but I do get scared out in the water. There's been a time or two where I was out in the water alone. There's nobody around me, nobody even on the beach.
Ooh.
And, the whole place is just like teeming with sea life, birds and everything, just making all this sound. And then all of a sudden everything goes quiet. And there's nothing more bone chilling than that.
Oh, does that mean there's a shark around?
I thought that's what I felt like.
Yeah.
It just gave me the chills. And so I easily paddled in to not make a lot of splashes and got out of the water. That scared me to death.
You know what might be cool is to be paddleboarding, a quarter mile off the coast when a big earthquake hits. That might be interesting.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because you're going to see the whole land move, and you're probably going to not move much yourself. You coming out tomorrow night to the big remote?
Oh, you know it.
All right, excellent. We're going to see everybody tomorrow at Smart and Final in Yorba Linda. We're live on KFI AM 640. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.